Good morning, my students. Back again in a new lesson of our far distance learning series. As you see on the board, we have Unit 8, and our lesson is entitled as Let's Celebrate. Mainly, we will focus on grammar, and our grammatical rule for today is relative clause, especially of time, not of the place or anything else. On the board, as you see the division of our whiteboard, it's divided into new vocabulary that will be here. Then here will be the explanation of our grammatical rule. Again, let me remind you of our rule of today is relative clause of time. Then learning objectives. So by the end of our lesson, we have to know how to practice using relative clause of time, using our relative pronoun as we will see. When. Then our date, Monday, June 15, 2020. Okay? First of all, let's ask ourselves, what is meant by relative clause? And also what is meant by relative pronoun? In order to be able to understand the main or the focus of our lesson today. Honestly speaking, what's a relative clause? So, relative clause is a part of a sentence, not a complete sentence. It's a part of a sentence that we might use or that cannot be used separately or independently. And also, it might be used to describe a noun that comes before it in the main sentence that we will use. Okay? Then, what's a relative pronoun? Relative pronoun is a pronoun or a word that we have to use to start or begin our sentence, our relative clause with. So, let's explain it in a nice way or in a different way. Here we have two parts of sentences, sentence A and sentence B. As for sentence A, it says, Thanksgiving is a day. Then, sentence B, Americans celebrate the harvest of Thanksgiving. If we look at the two parts of our sentence, we will discover something, which is, in the second sentence, we have a repeated word that might refer to a time, which is Thanksgiving. So, here we have Thanksgiving, and also in the first sentence, it starts with the same word. So here we have to focus on the second repeated word in the second sentence. Okay? So, since we are speaking about relative clause of time, so we will use when. Mainly or exactly when. Because when is that word referring to a time. What about where? For example, it refers to a place. So here we have some relative pronouns like who, which, whom, where, that, and when. It's our talk or it's our focus of today. Okay? Back again to the two main sentences that we have. I would like to combine the two sentences using a relative pronoun when. Okay? So, first of all, I will write the main sentence or the first sentence as it is. Thanksgiving is a day. Thanksgiving is a day. Here it is. Then we will omit the dot and we will change it for when. So Thanksgiving is a day when. Then I will write the second sentence as it is, but without repeating that word which refers to a time, which is on Thanksgiving. So, Thanksgiving is a day when Americans, when Americans celebrate the harvest. And I will delete on Thanksgiving because it's the second repeated word referring to the same subject that I started with. Okay? So, if we are back again to the definition or the definition of a relative clause, we will say or we said that it's a part of a sentence. So, when Americans celebrate the harvest. It's a part of a sentence, okay, that cannot be existed independently or separately. I can ever never use when Americans celebrate the harvest as it is, because it's not going to give us a complete meaning, okay? And that which refers or describes a noun, okay, that comes before it. So here, when describes a day, which mainly refers to Thanksgiving. So this is what's meant by our relative clause as or in a definition. Okay? So when here is called relative pronoun. And we said about the definition of the relative pronoun that it is a word or a pronoun like who, which, whom, where, when, that, which we have to start our relative clause with. Yes, we started our relative clause, which is Americans celebrate the harvest with when. So this about our two definitions. Let's have one more example to make it to make it much clearer for you, okay? Here we have sentence A. New Year's Eve is a night. So this is sentence number 1. Sentence number B. People have fun with their friends on New Year's Eve. If we look at the two parts of our sentence, we will discover that in the second sentence we have a repeated word which refers to a time, which is New Year's Eve. It's the same word that we have started our first sentence with. So, which one will be repeated or which one will be deleted? Yes, it's the second repeated word in the second sentence. Okay? Let's combine the two sentences together using what? Using when. Why? Because we are dealing with relative clause of time. So, I will write the first sentence as it is. New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is a night, yes. Then omit the dot, replace it for when. So, New Year's Eve is a night when. Then write the second sentence as it is. But take into your consideration without repeating that word referring to time, which is on New Year's Eve. So our new sentence is New Year's Eve is a night when people have fun with their friends. Here we came to the end of our sentence and we combined those two parts of sentence using a relative clause of time, which is when. Okay? Let's look at our smart board and have some more examples. As you see, here we have exercise A. How much do you know about these times? Complete this sentence in column A with information from column B. Then compare with a partner. So to make it much clearer, here we have two columns, column A and column B. What we are asked to do, what we are requested to have or to write now is to combine the two sentences, okay, using the relative clause of what? Of time, which is, yes, when. Okay, so let's read the first sentence in column A. New Year's Eve is a night. When? Okay, when what? Here we have some options, but it's only just one option that might be fitted to that part of sentence. So when what? So we will say when people know. So again, it's when, yes, people have parties with family and friends. Again, let's combine the two sentences together using a relative pronoun when. New Year's Eve is a night when. So when what? When people have parties with family and friends. Here we have combined the two sentences having a relative clause using what? Using when. Okay? So let's have one more example. April Fool's Day is a day when. When what? So the most fitting option here is it's F. So again, April Fool's Day is a day when. When what? When people sometimes play tricks on friends. So if we repeat Or if we review our definition of relative clause, let's say it again. April Fool's Day is a day. It's our main sentence. And our relative clause here is it's when people sometimes play tricks on friends. Don't forget that a relative clause cannot be used independently or separately. It should follow what? It should follow the main sentence to give us a complete meaning. So, April Fool's Day is a day when people sometimes play tricks on friends. Okay? So, here we have come to the end of our lesson. Still we have points 3, 4, 5, and 6. What I would like to ask you is to go over the rest of our exercise in case if you have any difficult point or inquiry. Please try to contact me and keep in touch. Thanks so much.